welcome to the Daniel Leon Show. Thanks again for the sound effects of people cheering. And what this episode is about in your house when they had a triple header main event. Okay, the first match I remember is Razor Ramon finally going against Dean Douglas after Douglas tried costing him one match 1 week and then cost him his match against the 1-2-3 Kid 6 nights before in your house. And naturally I have to look at the they literally put triple header because of the main event. Put triple header in the In Your House event name. In Saginaw, Michigan, September 24th, 1995. Unlike WCW, they didn't put in the, Okay, I'm sorry. They had 4 matches before Dean Douglas went against Razor Ramon. First match was Fatu, who later became known as Rikishi. He beat Hunter S. Helmsley. They did not put how long the match was. Savio Vega beat Waylon Mercy at 7 minutes and 6 seconds. Waylon Mercy was so strange, I think I understand why I don't remember hearing about him. So up until this point, the third match, which was Psycho Sid with Ted DiBiase against Henry O. Godwin, the only real storyline in these matches that I can actually remember is Ted DiBiase having pig slop thrown in his face by Henry Godwin. So that's the only storyline I can remember. Like up until this point, the only first 2 matches were really just filler matches. There wasn't really any reason to have them aside from just filling time. Psycho Sid went against Henry Godwin, and Henry Godwin had a bad back, so that was the main story in the entire match, was that the weakest part on Henry Godwin was his back. So worked on it a couple of times. Did Psycho Sid with a bear hug, and then beat him with the power bomb. And naturally, if you have a bad back, a power bomb is going to do it. It's going to do it all the time. So even though that was Sid Vicious's finisher, he could have used it as just a generic move, and it would have won the match. So it was even though it wasn't a great match, because Psycho Sid was not really a great wrestler, so I really can't think of one match that was great that he had. Outside of when he went against The Undertaker, and that was more The Undertaker than it was Psycho Sid. So, like I said, it's not so much Psycho Sid being great because he was very clumsy and he just had no ability. As a matter of fact, Barry Windham said he was inept in the ring, not capable. And the next match was really good, and that was the British Bulldog against Bam Bam Bigelow. British Bulldog beat Bigelow in 12 even minutes at the 12-minute mark. And what was great about Bigelow was that for a big man, he could move very well. Like, you could see him a lot of times doing, like, cartwheels, I believe, and doing the moonsault. And when he went against Bret Hart in a King of the Ring qualifying match, no, in the King of the Ring match itself, I believe, or in the King of the Ring pay-per-view itself, even though it was won by victory roll, because you have to move with your opponents, that shows how great he was to work with. Because you have to be able to coordinate your body with theirs and roll forward. And he did that so well that it really looked real. So that's why I think if they do induct Bigelow next year, which I think they already have plans to do that, he's very deserving of it. And I just think it's a shame that, as great as he was in the ring, the only championships he has are the tag team championships in either WCW or ECW. But I don't think he ever won a WWF title. So that's the only shame, but the rest is great because he had great abilities, he had a great career. Okay, Razor Ramon had gotten Dean Douglas where he could beat him if the referee was not knocked out against Dean Douglas, but 1-2-3 Kid decided to get involved and count the match himself. And as Razor was fussing at him, instead of paying attention to Dean, he got rolled up and he lost to Dean Douglas. So I believe what this helped do, instead, I really don't know what they were thinking in putting Ramon against Douglas. I know that it was Razor's idea to go against Douglas. I don't know what they were thinking of doing after. I don't know if they were thinking that this would propel Dean, but with the outcome of this match, it actually worked better for Razor than it did for Douglas because of the 1-2-3 Kid's inclusion in this match. So it made you want to see them face each other more than wanting to see Dean Douglas. In my estimation, that's what happened. And the next match was Bret Hart against Jean-Pierre Lafitte. And the entire story, not just that Jean-Pierre Lafitte was a pirate, but it was the fact that let me see if I remember this. Oh yeah. It was the fact that not only did he steal Bret Hart's sunglasses, and not only actually stole his jacket first, not only did he steal his jacket, but he especially stole sunglasses from a fan. So because of how much that jacket meant to Bret, that was the main reason Bret wanted to face him to begin with, was because of taking his jacket. He beat him with the sharpshooter at 16 minutes and 37 seconds. He got back his jacket and he put it on right away. And what we found out during the build-up to that match was that that jacket was made by his mom for him. So it's really a bigger deal because of that. It was a triple header pay-per-view, but they say right here that even though it was a triple header pay-per-view, triple header main event, they had 3 matches after triple header. So in the tag team triple header main event, earlier in the night, they said Owen Hart hadn't showed up. So Cornette was given the privilege of finding a replacement for Owen Hart, so that not only would they defend the title, but also if they won, they would win whatever. If they were able to pin one of the champions, they would get that title also. So he ended up talking Davey Boy Smith into teaming with Shawn Michaels. No, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. Into teaming with the Yokozuna to defend the titles. Against Diesel and Shawn Michaels. Let me see if they said it right here. Near the end of the match, it was revealed that it was just a storyline as Owen Hart rushed to the ring in full gear and interfered in the match. But moments later, Diesel pinned Owen Hart to win the match and supposedly win the tag team championships. But it was later announced that while Diesel and Michaels won the match, they did not win the tag team titles, so Owen Hart was not the legal man in the match. Well, after thinking about it, I'm glad I read this aftermath. It's really going to be even more fun to do the next few Raw vs. Nitro episodes, because all I could remember is that Shawn Michaels had to hand Dean Douglas the Intercontinental title probably about an hour or 2 hours before he was supposed to defend it against Razor Ramon again. So I'm glad I looked it up, because as I just said, I'm not sure what the purpose was. So I don't know what the purpose was, but I know what happened now. Shawn Michaels had to hand or forfeit the title to Dean Douglas because he had gotten in a real-life fight with a number of Marines and couldn't defend it. So that's going to be interesting to see. And let me get back to In Your House 3. Goldust defeated Bob Holly at 12 minutes and 11 seconds. Ahmed Johnson defeated Skip. And The Undertaker defeated King Mabel. And we'll go back to recording or talking about pay-per-views in the 80s. I'll get back to that next week. Right now, I want to say that I hope y'all enjoy this, and I hope Um, that hope y'all don't get confused or anything like that. And, by the way, the next time I talk will be about the Raw vs. Nitro the night after this. And, I just realized when I had welcomed y'all to the show, I realized I said the wrong name. This is Daniel Vaillant Show Part 2. Okay. So thank y'all for joining the Daniel Vaillant Show Part 2. And, I hope that, y'all listen to this. And I hope that y'all enjoy it. Thank you and goodbye.